What's up, everybody? Colton Posey here. I want to talk to you about 5 fall baits that'll guarantee you'll catch more fish. Stay tuned. This is something you don't want to miss. Colton Posey Fishing is brought to you by All Things Outdoors Podcast. We got you covered from the woods to the water. Alright guys, so appreciate you tuning in. And one of the things is all the baits and stuff that I use will be linked down in the description. But don't forget, hit that subscribe button and like this video. I'll bring you more content. So one of the first things I love to start out with, the fish are chasing them shad all through the creeks, okay? They're going to be in the backs, they're going to be in little pockets, they're going to be on secondary points, they're going to be everywhere. So they're going to be moving up shallow. The thing is, the fish congregate this time of year. So once you catch one, don't just move on to the next place. Start, making extra casts in that spot. Sometimes you'll sit there and catch 5 fish in one spot. So what I like to do to cover a lot of water, especially early in the morning, I like throwing a Strike King buzz toad. Now, it doesn't have a clacker. It works the same way as a buzz bait. You just throw it out there, reel it in. It works wonderful. One of the things I love about this, that flat bottom right there, I can actually skip this thing under docks. So it helps a lot. The line that I use, I like throwing 50-pound Smackdown Seaguar braid on a 7'6" Lew's Mock Speed Spool. This thing, you can just cover tons of water and you can really find those fish. Let's say I pick off a few fish with this and I keep throwing over there and I don't get bit, I'll pick something else and move to it. So, let's move on to the next bait. Alright guys, the second thing I love to use is a Squarebill Crankbait. Okay, this is the Rick Clunn series. I believe this is a series 3. This is a translucent bait. You can kind of see through it. It works very well. Just one of the things is, do not worry about getting this thing hung up. Okay, you're going to get it hung up no matter what you do. There's a lot of times you're going to reflect off the cover and it's never going to get hung up, but you're going to get hung up if you want to catch more fish. Now, one of the things that will save you a lot of money, let me find one here, is a pocket knocker. This thing right here, it's like $5 for 3 of them. You put this on your line, keep your line tight, let it drop down, shake it a few times, it'll knock your lure loose. It'll save you a lot of money for $5. So, let's say it's bright blue bird skies, it's a beautiful day, right? It's a lot of times when the fishing's tough. So, I like using these translucent baits. It's kind of got a gray back, a little bit of green in it, the white belly. I always swap out my hooks to EWG Gamakatsu hooks. The hookup ratio is a lot better. If it's bright bluebird sunny skies, I will try this one. If you keep catching fish on like the back hook, I will actually swap to a Lucky Craft. This is the American Shad color. Now it's got a lot of reflection and shine to it. This will help attract those bass that are more lethargic. Now what I like to throw this on, I like either a 7-foot impulse cranking glass rod, or I like the Powell Inferno rod. This one's actually called a mistake, but it's the same thing as an Inferno rod. This is made for jerk baits and crankbaits and stuff like that. I throw 12-pound Seaguar Tohatsu, and I have a Lew's Mock, or it's not a Mock, it's a laser speed spool. I'm sorry, this is a Jason Christie version, but it's a really good reel. So that's my setup for crankbaits. That's the second stop. Let's move on to the third. Alright guys, now the third stop, we are talking about spinner baits. Yes, one of my favorite things to throw. Now, this one right here, double willow blades, silver, 99.5% of the time, I'm on the water this time of year, I'm throwing double willows. Bluebird sunny skies, absolutely beautiful, something real natural. Those silver blades provide a lot of flash. The fish can see it from far away and they will come and eat it. Now, let's say it's been raining for weeks or a week or however long. You know that river, you know that lake is muddy. What do I want to throw? I want to throw something with a lot of contrast in that muddy water. The whites. Whites are beautiful in that muddy water. It provides a lot of shine, a lot of background. They can see that white from a long ways. they will come and eat this thing. Now, what do I use for my spinnerbaits? This is very important. Them clear Bluebird Sunny Days, I've got 12-pound Seaguar Tohatsu, and I'm throwing it on a Abu Garcia Black Max reel. It's a very inexpensive reel, cast grade. I mean, you're talking like 40, 50 bucks. I mean, you can't beat that. I've got an Impulse Energy Series rod. This is specifically designed by Zell Rowland for spinnerbaits. This provides me with great castability. Sensitivity is definitely a big thing. If I'm going over tree limbs and stuff, I want to know it's a tree limb and not a bite. This rod helps me provide that. So that's my setup for spinnerbaits. Them are the spinnerbaits I use. Let's move on. Alright, now one of the last things is a rattle trap. Okay, lipless crankbaits, they're so versatile. I can run them deep, I can run them mid-depth, I can run them on top of the water column. Anywhere that you think those bass is going to be, you can run a lipless crankbait. The crankbaits that I love to use is the Berkeley War Pigs. This is a 1/4 ounce. They go, I think, all the way up like 3/4 ounce or something like that. But this time of year, I like the smaller profile baits because the bait fish are smaller. I swap out to my hooks. Gamakatsu size 6 EWGs. They don't get tangled up together. The hookup ratio is a lot better. I want the rattle traps. Even the Bill Lewis crankbaits are great. I want the lipless crankbaits that has that high-pitched rattling sound. The reason I want that, it sounds like bait fish scattering. It drives them crazy. My setup for these lipless crankbaits, this is a Impulse Energy Series rod. This is 7'2" multi-technique rod. The reason I use the 7'2", 9 times out of 10, I'm getting parallel with banks or ledges or whatever, and I'm casting a long ways. So if I'm out there a long ways, that 7'2" takes up a lot of line and helps those hooks penetrate that fish's mouth. Okay. The line that I use, I love throwing 15-pound Seaguar Abrazex. This stuff right here is super, super tough. You can get it through them tree limbs, rocks, or whatever, and it's not going to shred your line to pieces. The reel setup that I love using, I like the Shimano SLX series. These are great reels. I like something, I don't like going real slow with lipless baits. I like something like a 7 1-to-1 or higher. The biggest reason is, yes, sometimes it's good to move slow with them, but a lot of times I'm looking for that quick reaction strike. I want to get that bait in as fast as I can. Or if I set the hook and they hit it from the back and knock it forward, I can take up that line really fast for just a few turns of the handle. And if I want to slow down, I just slow my retrieve down. So either way, it's a win-win situation. Let's move on to the last and final thing. Alright guys, the final thing you hear me talking about a lot, jerk baits. Okay, this is a Smithwick Rattling Rogue. You can hear it, it's got a lot of high-pitched rattles in it. You can actually see it in this one. I love these. Basically, you just throw it out there and just work it as fast as you possibly can. This attracts those big bites, those reaction bites that a lot of times you can't get with any other lure. The reason you want to move it so fast, I don't want them to come up to it, look at it, and just stare at it. I want them to just see it go by. It's kind of like when somebody throws something to you, your instinct is to just reach out and catch it, right? Same way with the jerk bait. I want to move it fast where they just barely see it. They see it coming by and they just turn real fast and eat it. Now, the thing, not the thing, but the setup that I love to use, I like throwing 8 to 10 pound Seaguar Tohatsu, or if I'm in like real muddy water, going shallow, and I'm throwing something like a white or a dark jerk bait, I will go all the way up to 12 to 14 pound test. That just ensures if you're fishing close to cover that you can get those fish out of there before they get you down deep in there, because all them hooks, they're going to get tangled up and it's very, very tough to get it loose. So my setup as far as rod, I like throwing the Impulse Energy series. This is the 6'8" top water rod that was designed by Zell Rowland. It's a real limber rod. It just, the action of the bait with this rod, this is what they are designed for, these the top water rod. The flexibility, the movement of the rod, the lightweightness, you can just throw these baits all day without getting wore out. Also like the Shimano SLX reels, I want to use something high speed. 8 1-to-1 is great. If you don't have 8 1-to-1, 7 1-to-1 or higher. That allows me to take up a lot of line very fast if I need to. But that is the top 5 fall baits that I use to catch fish during the fall. Guys, that's the top 5 fall baits. I hope you appreciated it. Don't forget to hit that subscribe and like button. I will bring you more content just like that. Not only that, we've actually got a podcast now. It's really interesting to listen to. You can learn a lot, and you'll learn a lot of stuff that absolutely has nothing to do with anything that you need to learn. But it's just a great time. Don't forget it. It's All Things Outdoors Podcast. Check it out. We're on 6 different platforms: Spotify, Anchor, Google Podcast. So check it out, guys. I really appreciate y'all. I'll keep you updated. Rugged Jigs, the champion's choice. You know he's mine. Impulse rods, fish the moment.